Okay, so I'd like to call this special public budget presentation meeting to order at 7 p.m. on February the 8th, 2022. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Are there any declarations of pecuniary? Oh, I'm sorry, I have to do my introduction. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? I see none. Is there any correspondence? We have no correspondence. So the business for which the meeting was called was our public budget presentation. And at this point, I will turn it over to our clerk, Michelle, to present the budget.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Laura, will you let me share the screen? And you can see the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Good evening, Mayor Bros, members of council, and residents of North Algona Wilberforce. Tonight, I would like to present the 2022 budget. The highlights of the 2022 budget. The budget as presented tonight will include a property tax levy increase of 1.8%. It will also include funding for a service review, pay equity review, rebranding, and asset management software. The budget also includes the purchase of 2 tandem plow trucks for the Public Works Department. And the budget also includes the following scheduled road projects, which include Crooked Rapids Road, Black Point Road, and Burnt Road. The municipal budget for 2022 is $6.18 million. The total revenues for the 2022 budget is $6,188,966. This is made up of $3,336,977 from property taxes, from grants and funding. We will receive $1,644,522. Other income is in the amount of $358,467, and the budget also includes a reserve withdrawals of $849,000. The 2022 budget includes a property tax levy of $3,336,977. This is a 1.8% increase over the 2021 budget, or it's also 54% of the total revenue for the township. But because this increase is due to additional assessment caused by growth, the municipal tax rate is projected to remain relatively unchanged from 2021. And we will show examples of this later. However, this does not mean that property taxes will necessarily increase by 1.8%, as property taxes are affected by three components. These include the assessment, the type of your property, and the tax rate. So the assessment, this is the total value of all property in the township, and it's the base to which property tax rates are applied. There's different types of properties which are taxed at different rates. Commercial and industrial properties generally have a higher tax rate. The upper tier, which is the County of Renfrew, decides the ratio of commercial or industrial tax rates to residential tax rates. Changing the share of the levy paid for by the commercial and the industrial properties will change the portion of the levy paid by residential properties. And the tax rate, this is the rate required to achieve the desired levy from the total assessment of all property types. The total assessed value of all property in the township for 2022 is $508,655,801. This is 90% of this value is residential assessment, and this is an increase of $5.8 million over 2021. In this slide is a comparison of the projected tax rate for 2022 and the 2021 tax rate for single-family homes, seasonal dwellings, from residence, farmland, managed forest, and commercial. As you can see, the projected tax rate for 2022 is to remain relatively the same as 2021. The township only controls its portion of property taxes. The county determines their own property tax rates, and the school boards are determined by the province. Growth is the key to lowering the property tax rate. If there are more properties to collect the levy from, the individual share of the levy will decrease. So the goal of the township must be to increase the assessment through development so that the tax rate can be low while still collecting a large enough levy to provide high quality services to our residents. 26% of our revenue comes from grants and funding. For 2022, $92,450 will come from the federal gas tax funding. This is to be used for projects for specific roads or transportation projects. Also included is a grant for Canada Day in the amount of $1,600. We're expecting that this will be the same amount as prior years. Also included is revenue from the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. The amount for 2022 is $383,568. This is to be used for specific transportation projects. We also receive $604,900 for the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund. This is provincial funding. This is money for general needs. And also included in grants for 2022 is Canada Summer Jobs in the amount of $4,000. This is to offset the wage cost for 5 summer students. 6% of the revenue for the budget comes from fees and other charges. For 2022, this is going to include $87,617 in interest on outstanding taxes, $35,000 for building permits, and $80,000 for tipping fees. (13.5% of the revenue will come from reserve withdrawals. This is the surplus carry forward from 2021 in the amount of $849,000. This comes from the large number of budget items and road projects that were not completed in 2021, and we're carrying them over into 2022. The total on the expense side, the total expenses included in the 2022 budget is $6,188,966. This includes $150,500 for council expenses, $988,436 for administration expenses, $22,400 for bylaw enforcement, $522,012 for the fire department, $89,985 in expenses for the building inspector, CMC, other items. Our policing costs for 2022 are $506,916. The expenses for the public works department will be $1,107,694. For rolling stock repairs and purchases, the cost will be $184,500. The cost for landfill and recycling in 2022 will be $334,994. For recreation, the budget expense amount is $789,530, and final is the cost for road construction. And for 2022, this amount will be $1,492,000. The next slide, this is the organizational chart for North Algona Wilberforce Township. This provides information on the number of staff we have and their positions. Wages are allocated to the department in which the work is performed. For 2022, wage costs include a 3% cost of living allowance increase, and also we have included a new position of special projects coordinator. This has been added as a one-year contract position. Council expenses make up 2.5% of the total expenses. This includes $150,500, and of this, $100,000 is related to wages and costs. Included in the council budget is $5,500 for public relations and $2,500 for donations. Treasury, administration, and municipal hall expenses make up 16% of the budget. The total expense for this department is $988,435. This includes $489,000 related to wages and costs. This budget, some of the highlights for 2022 includes $20,000 to update the comprehensive zoning bylaw for the municipality, $170,000 to complete the service review, pay equity, and rebranding, and $48,000 for the asset management software. Now, we did receive $137,529 in modernization funds to pay for the service review and the asset management software. Bylaw enforcement makes up 1% of the expense budget. The cost for this department is $22,400, and this includes $14,400 in wage costs. The budget for this department includes $3,000 for training and $5,000 for supplies. The budget for the fire department, this makes up 8% of the expenses. The total cost for this department is $522,012. This includes $155,000 related to wage costs. In 2022, the fire department will be purchasing the following capital items. This includes bunker gear, air conditioning for the Rankin Hall, a gear grid, an AED, lighting upgrades to the Deacon Station, a truck monitor, radio upgrades, and a storage container for the Rankin Hall. Also in the budget is included $13,000 for fire prevention expenses. The budget for building inspection, community emergency measures, livestock evaluator makes up 1.5% of the budget. The total expense for this department is $89,985. This includes $65,000 in costs related to wage and benefits. It includes $50,000 for wages for the building inspector and $8,000 for expenses for the building inspector. For community emergency measure, it includes the CEMC's wages, emergency plan exercise and training, and public education costs. All other expenses in this department include costs for livestock evaluator, animal control, radio channel fees, etc. The total cost for policing for 2022 is $506,816. This makes up 8%. This is for the service provided by the OPP to our municipality. Costing is per the notice received each year from the OPP. This is $17,281 less than the cost for 2021. The base cost is $172.07 per property. The remainder of the bill is for cost adjustments, such as service calls. The budget for the public works and rolling stock repairs and purchases for 2022 is $1,292,194. This includes $526,000 in wage costs. It's 21% of the budget. For 2022, capital purchases will include upgrades to the Public Works garage in Golden Lake in the cost of $60,000, 2 tandem plow trucks. These vehicles will be financed over 10 years, and the cost for 2022 will be $60,000. Also, the purchase of a pickup truck This vehicle will be financed over 5 years, and the cost for this year will be $6,000. The total expense for landfill and recycling costs for this year will be $334,994. And this includes $43,400 in wage and wage costs. Included in this budget is the hauling costs charged by Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery Center. This year we have budgeted $27,000 for those costs. We also have to pay the royalty fees to the Township of Rancho Valley in the amount of $15,000 for them hosting the landfill site. We have budgeted $50,000 for tipping fees paid to Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery Center. In 2022, our debenture costs are $37,094. This was to originally build the Waste Recovery Center, and this debt is paid off in 2022. Our contribution to the landfill gas wells at the center, we have budgeted $80,000 this year for that project. We've also budgeted to replace one bin at Shawwood's transfer site and to replace the compactor bin at the Burnt Road site. The recreation budget for 2022 is $789,530. This includes $35,000 related to wages. This budget includes $5,000 for Canada Day celebrations. We also provide donations and contributions to a number of community partners. This year, we will be providing $3,000 to the Rankin Community Center, $6,000 to the Eganville Seniors, $20,000 to the Eganville Arena, $80,000 has been budgeted for the library, and $2,000 have been budgeted for the museum. Capital purchases this year will include $5,000 to complete the accessibility upgrades to the Golden Lake Community Center. For the road works budget, we have this year it will be $1,492,000, and this is 24% of the total expenses. This will include $500,000 for road construction reserves and $200,000 for capital asset repairs. This year we have planned the following projects. We plan to do Crooked Rapid Roads in the amount of $370,000. Black Point Road for $197,000. And Burnt Road for $92,000. We've also included 2 culvert construction projects on Hewitt's Corners Road for the cost of $60,000, culvert replacement on Island View Drive for $25,000, and an easement and drain system for Island View also for the cost of $10,000. And that is the completion of my budget presentation tonight.
Thank you very much, Michelle, to you and all of the staff that put in countless hours of work to complete the budget. If you're able to join us again in the council chambers, we'll wait for your return and take any questions that may come from council.
Okay, that sounds good.
I just have one item that needs correction on the recreation budget, and at the beginning you had indicated it's 789,000, but on the slide it said 399.
And that's why I corrected, because 789 is the correct amount.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I know this is the same budget that we saw and approved at our last council meeting. So I'll just ask council if they have any questions for us now. Councilor Reddy-Jones.
Thanks for the reporting. It was excellent and very easy to understand. So that was great. Okay, thank you. When you were talking about summer students, like, did you say 5 summer students?
So we have applied to Canada Summer Jobs for 5 students, yes.
Okay, because when I looked at the flow chart, I only really saw 4. Okay, thanks for that clarification.
Welcome.
Any other questions? Councilor Buckle.
Thank you, Bert. I actually just have 2 comments. I like the presentation, it's very nice, easy to follow. Just a couple of things in the slides, I think maybe we should point out to the ratepayers that may be listening. One of the things is under landfill and recycling. Our clerk mentioned the fact that the debenture should be completed this year. So that's an expense we won't be seeing in future years, so that's good to see. And the second one I just wanted to draw attention to is under the section on council expenses. Just so that the public is aware, it is an increase over the previous year, but there's also $22,000 in election expenses there. Just to explain the difference, just to make it clear that, you know, we're not getting a whole lot bigger.
No, and that's an expense that we get every 4 years.
But no, excellent presentation. Thank you.
Any other Councilor Byrne?
Really good presentation. Thank you. Done really well.
I would echo the same thing. It was very well presented and very succinct detail.
Thank you. So I have a motion that council approves and adopts the 2022 budget as presented on February the 8th, 2022. Can I get a mover in a second? Moved by Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Buckle. Buckle?
Yes.
Councilor Byrne?
Yeah,
Councilor Robinson?
Yeah.
Councilor Reddy-Jones?
Yeah.
And yes, that's carried. Thank you. Well, that brings us to our next item, which is the Pupil fundraising tax mail-out insert. Michelle, did you want to speak to that?
So we have received an inquiry from the Montreal Union Public Library. They have inquired if the municipality would be willing to include a 1/3 of the letter size handout in our income tax bill. This it will consist of an appeal letter for fundraising on their behalf. Since this is a request for funding solicitation, staff requires direction from council. The library will print, prepare, and deliver the inserts to us. We would just need to insert it in the tax bill mailing. Since the majority of our tax bills are below the maximum weight, it would have a minimal cost. And and would have a minimal staff processing time.
Thank you very much. And I have a motion that council accepts this report and authorizes staff to include the Bonshire Union Public Library fundraising insert in the interim tax bill mail out. Can I get a mover and a second? By Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Buckwald.
Yes.
Councillor Burns.
Yes.
Councillor Robinson.
Yes.
Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld.
Yes,
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. So that brings us to the closed portion of our meeting. I have a motion that council goes into closed session at 7:31 p.m. for the purpose of one, labor relations or employee negotiations. And I got a mover in a second, moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld. Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld.
yes.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Then I have a resolution that council comes out of closed session at 8:06 p.m.
Yeah.
Can I get a move in a second? Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld. Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld.
Yeah,
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. I have a motion that council approves the return to working compensation after illness human resource policy as amended. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burns. Councillor Buckwald.
Yes.
Councillor Burns.
Yes.
Councillor Robinson.
Yes.
Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld.
yes.
And yes, that's carried. And then we're at the confirming bylaw. I have a motion that bylaw 2022-12 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for February the 8th, 2022 is read a first and second time this 8th day of February 2022. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Read a third time and finally passed this 8th day of February 2022. Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld.
Yes,
And yes, it's carried. Okay. I have a motion that the special council public budget presentation meeting adjourns at 8:08 p.m. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckwald. Councillor
Yes.
Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reicher-Schoenfeld.
yes.
And yes, it's carried. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.